back to the TMBC Wake YouTube channel. If you haven't entered the surfboard giveaway yet, make sure to get over that video and get yourself entered. I'll put a link right above me, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. Alright, so this video is going to be the second addition to my trick tips series, and my videos are going to be different from other trick tutorials. It's not actually going to be a trick tutorial as much as it's going to just provide you certain tips about nailing a trick for the first time. And what I mean is, in a normal trick tutorial, they're going to give you a step-by-step guide from start to finish on a trick. They'll tell you what tricks to be doing consistently before you try those new tricks, and basically just kind of a walkthrough guide on how to do that. My videos will include some of that, but my videos are going to highlight the tips and little secrets that really helped me nail those tricks. So if you're looking for a full walkthrough tutorial, what I'll do is I will link another video out on YouTube if there's one available that I think is a pretty good guide for that. But this video is mostly going to provide you a highlight of those tips that I thought were the most important for me to get that trick. That being said, there will be a lot more of these videos on the way. I will mostly be creating many of my trick tip videos in the off season. With all the video that I've collected. So look forward for more of those to come. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the heel side, front side, wake to wake 360. And I'm going to cover the main tips that helped me to complete this trick. So before we get into the tips, I'm going to share a little bit of video from my buddy who came out last week. And he's the one that actually inspired me to do this video because I was helping him with his 360. He actually has gotten a 360 before, but he's just trying to get it more consistent. So I'm going to share some video of him, and we'll follow up with going through the tips. So you can see that my buddy was very close on that last one. He basically has the trick. There's just a few little things that he needs help with, kind of getting down and getting his muscle memory in place. So I'm going to go ahead and start covering those things that I think are most important when you're doing a heel side, front side, wake to wake 360. First of all, some of the things that would be covered in a tutorial. Obviously, you should be jumping wake to wake. You should probably have a heel side, front side 180, although I don't believe that one's required. You should also understand a progressive edge and know the difference between a light edge, a medium edge, and a hard edge. With all that being said, I'm going to share some video of me where I had my friend filming behind me, and it'll give you a really good perspective. So first of all, you can see me cutting out. I'm not cutting out on my toes as far as I can. I'm really kind of cutting out about 3/4 of the way on my toes because I don't want to come into the wake going super fast. I want this trick to be wake to wake, especially when you're doing your first attempts. It's gonna be harder to land it if you're not clean wake to wake. Then you see me start turning in on my edge and sitting down, but also really pushing my hips back away from the rope. You want to let your hips drift away from the rope for this trick, which is not typical for a lot of tricks. It's mainly for spins that you want to do this. But you want to let the handle drift away from your hips or let your hips drift away from the handle, whichever you want to call that. That's going to be important for this next step. Now, as you see me get right to the trough of the wake or the bottom of the wake, I start to bring my hips back into the rope and stand up at the same time. The reason why that's important is because you want to be traveling with the rope. And I may have forgot to mention this, but you want to be on a medium edge for this trick. So if you have too hard of an edge, or you don't let the handle drift away from your hips and then bring your hips back to the handle as you come up off the wake, either one of those two things are going to make it to where the handle is wanting to pull away from you. So trying to spin will just stop you at a 180, or it will at least slow down the rotation to where you're not going to fully spin. Or you may spin fully and you just let go of the handle because you're not able to get it back around your other hand. So it's very important that you come in on a medium edge and that you let your hips drift away from the handle as you're coming in, and then as you're coming up the wake, you bring your hips back to the handle and stand up. Now obviously I don't suggest that you do try a grab on your first 360. I suggest you have your 360s consistent before you start trying grabs. But I just thought that this view was a very good example of this trick. So one of the biggest tips I'm going to provide to you, and this is one of the biggest things that was hard for me to overcome myself, is that you want to pull the handle in to your back hip, which will spin the first 180, and then you're just going to hold that position while your body rotates around the handle until it hits the small of your back, and that's when you're going to reach around and grab it with your other hand. And you're grabbing it with your other hand at the very last moment. A lot of people will throw the handle behind their back and immediately try to grab for it, and it's not quite there yet, and then they don't think they're going to have it and they give up. They let go of the rope. And actually, if you look at my buddy, that's exactly what happened on his last attempt. He was actually right there, but because he didn't feel the handle when he thought he should, he just let go. But if he would have waited one more second, he would have been fine. He would have grabbed the handle and landed. And a lot of that is just patience and just trusting the trick. I know everybody's worried about taking a back edge, but if you just wait until you get spun around and then grab that handle, you can literally pass the handle as you're landing. You could be landing, your board could be touching the water, and you can pass the handle. The pros even land wrapped and don't even pass the handle. So again, my biggest tip is wait until the very end to pass that handle. You're going to basically hold on to the handle and spin around the handle. You're not going to jump and just throw your body. You're going to jump and spin around that handle while you're placing that handle right to the small of your back, and then at the last moment reach around and grab that. And when you reach around and grab the handle, you just want to think about putting your hands together. Because when you put your hands together, the handle's going to be right there, and your hand's going to know what to do with it. So just think about putting your hands together behind your back. So that's all you need to think about, just reaching around and putting your hands together, grab that handle. That was one of the biggest things for me to overcome. One of the things I started doing right before I nailed my first 360 is I thought to myself, I think I might be able to just hold on to it, get spun around, and right when I'm landing, just let go of the handle and then reach out and grab it. And I actually did that a couple times. The problem with that, though, is that in that scenario, when you grab the handle, it's far enough out in front of you typically that it just kind of rips you over. So you want to make sure you take those steps appropriately. For me, the biggest hurdle was getting that handle pass. I did many 360s where I just didn't get the handle. I landed it, I just didn't have the handle in my hand. One of the things you can do to make this become muscle memory, as opposed to trying to think about it as you get in the air, is on a trampoline, just keep on jumping and spinning and passing the handle, pass the handle, pass the handle. Do it like 100 times. And then the next time you go out to jump, chances are your body will know exactly what to do. It would help if you had a board on, because obviously you can spin quicker and easier on a trampoline without a board on your feet. But either way, if you just get that muscle memory down, chances are your body will know what to do, as opposed to you having to think about it as you go through the jump. All right, I hope my tips help you to nail your first hillside, frontside 360. I actually was one of those people that got my first invert. I actually did a hillside back roll before I got a full spin. I did have my hillside, frontside 180s down before I did my first hillside, frontside 360. It is typical that you would If you didn't feel right about your jump, you stop at a 180. But that's actually kind of a bad habit. That's why I say I don't think it's required to be doing a heel side front side 180 before you try a heel side front side 3. And once I nailed my first heel side front side 360, it really opened the door for many more tricks. Don't get discouraged if you try it 10 times and it just seems like you're not getting it. This trick took me right around 120 attempts, so I was definitely feeling like, what is my problem? But I definitely think that persistence is going to help you with any trick. You just got to keep trying, just keep going for it. I have certain tricks that I have over 600 attempts on. Some of them are there's just certain tricks that are more difficult for other people, but just be persistent and I think you'll be able to get this trick. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave comments below if you have any other ideas or trick tips for the heel side front side 360. Also, please comment and let me know other tricks you would like to see me do tips on. Obviously, it needs to be something that I can do. I'd love to provide the videos on those that are in the most demand first. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.